Okay, who's ready to see Robin straight up kill a guy? Sommers, you're done. You better start running now, all right? You have the ability to make a magical portal to teleport to other parts of the world. I suggest you use it. You do know what Robin's previous profession was before she joined the Straw Hats, right? Yeah, she was an assassin, and she was good at it too, all right? She has killed many, many people. Honestly, I'm still debating whether or not Black Maria is dead from Wano. I mean, it doesn't say she's dead, but she kind of got her spine broken. Then again, this is One Piece. She could probably just drink some 2% milk and she was fine at the end of it. But even so, Sommers, you're done, all right? So Robin, in the last chapter, she was inside of Saul's beard alongside Chopper, as you do, and Saul goes down, and he was like, hey, listen, don't worry about me. We can't beat the God's Knights. They're immortal. Just make sure you got to protect the kids at all cost, all right? Now, Robin, of course, cares about her friend. She was very upset. There's one scene where she's crying, like, inside of Saul's beard, like, oh, no, Saul, not again, not again. But at the end of the chapter, she kind of recomposes herself, and she gets up, and Chopper is there, like, Robin, no, don't. And then Robin's like, oh, no, this, not again, Chopper, not again. And Chopper's like, I have no reference point for what you mean by that. It's like, not again, Chopper. It's like, okay. Oh, man. And so we have Scopper, Gabon, and Robin in the last scene of the last chapter in the dual-page spread. Like, you know, this isn't happening. This is going down now. They're rushing at the God's Knights, all right? The Saul said they're immortal. Robin is about to stress test that, all right? Okay. So this is a question that pops up occasionally when you're reading One Piece, when you're talking about the Straw Hats' powers. It's a philosophical question, really. How bad could the Straw Hats really mess you up if they had absolutely no morals or ethics? You know, like if Chopper just did not care about the Hippocratic Oath, how bad could he absolutely dominate you? All right, like if he just turns into his heavy point and just starts ripping you apart, you know, like that kind of stuff, right? And in the case with Robin, we sort of have already had that because when she goes into the Demonio, there is also like a personality shift there too. It's like, oh no, I'm a demon lady now and I'm gonna break your spine. And then she did, okay? So I'm expecting Demonio. I'm expecting to see the demon fleur, the demon flower again. I'm expecting Sommers to break out into a cold sweat and start pissing himself. That's probably going to happen at one point. Remember this scene right here? This scene when Black Maria realized that the Grim Reaper was literally standing behind her. Yeah, I want to see that scene with Sommers. I want to see, okay, that would actually be really powerful. It's like kind of remember when Monet was slashed by Zoro, and Monet is a Logia, and Zoro was not using Haki, so she didn't die from that. But like just the intimidation factor alone and how quickly Zoro slashed her, that was enough to still like psychologically stun Monet for a while. That would be so cool if something similar happened with Sommers, right? Like Sommers is immortal. He can regenerate. If Gunko can regenerate, then he can too. So he has this immortality ability probably given to him by Emu or one of the other Gorosei. Since he's a member of the Shepherd family, maybe, Shepherd Jupiter gave him the ability. I don't know if the Gorosei can like delegate out that power or if Emu has to do it directly. But at any rate, he's immortal. He can regenerate. So what if Sommers, even knowing that he can regenerate, he still feels this overwhelming sense of dread behind him as he turns around and like this demon lady is like emerging from behind Saul and goes to grab him, and Sommers is like, oh, what in the holy hell is that thing? You know, and then like, you know, then the fight is on. He kind of composes himself at that point, but I would like a moment of panic. Out of the three celestial dragons, out of the three God's Knights so far, I would say Sommers is the one that's kind of exhibiting the standard celestial dragon MO of just like absolutely no regard for others, does not care, kidnaps children and sends them to go get burned in a fire and is just laughing his ass off the entire time that's happening. Gunko definitely exhibits that. Killingham certainly doesn't care, but Sommers is over here like he's jolly old St. Nicholas, right? He's over here like, ha ha ha, oh man, this is gonna be a crazy game. Hey, pass the salt. Give me some of that. Oh man, yeah, those children are gonna walk into the fire over there. They're all gonna get burned. They're all gonna die. Not a big deal. We have another group over here we could send back to Marijois. It doesn't matter. Oh man, this food is good. You know what I mean? And he's over there going on his philosophy about what is love really? And he has the ability to wrap a thorn around somebody and the person that cares about them most is gonna get stabbed by the thorn. Dude, this guy, even down to his devil fruit ability, this dude is like a celestial dragon through and through, right? So the idea that Robin is going to fight this guy, oh, that's perfect, right? That's a perfect matchup right there. And in more ways than one, Robin is also extremely smart and tactical. Like I said, she's going into maybe demon form, which maybe that hinders that a little bit. It's more about just direct combat, I'm going to rip you apart kind of thing. But Robin could maybe be the one to figure out how to get around the immortality shtick. You know what I mean? If anybody would figure out a way to do it, if it isn't as simple as just hit them really hard, go the Goku strategy with it. Hold on, they can regenerate really fast. Let's see if I can hit them even harder and see what happens then. Maybe when, because Scopper is arriving as well, although Scopper is there to save Colin, who is currently being kidnapped by Gunko, led by her arrows. So maybe Scopper Giabon is going to deal with Gunko, and then Robin has to fight against Sommers. Gunko and Sommers are kind of in the same area right now. Killingham is still back at the school, so we're not really dealing with him right now. But yeah, so if that's the situation, I mean, you could always have them fight together. You could have Scopper and Robin fight 2-on-2 against Sommers and Gunko, or you could just have them, in separate areas fighting, whichever. But yeah, Robin is going to okay, I need to take him down. And Saul already gave her a very important piece of information. They are immortal. You can't beat them. I was like, all right, well, Robin's ability is, she could definitely deal devastating blows on people, but it's also more about restraint, grabbing people and containing them that way. Now, the God's Knights are really physically powerful, I would assume, and they also have hockey and all that stuff, right? So Robin, and also you have Sommers' Devil Fruit ability, so Robin might initially try just to do the old, spine snap kind of situation, not going into Demonio or anything. She might just try to make a bunch of arms to, grapple Sommers, and he's like, wait a minute, what the hell? Wait a second, is Robin around here somewhere? Oh, and then all of his bones just get shattered at once. That would actually be cool to see. You can actually play with that a little bit because of their regeneration. You can see a little bit more. Usopp blew half of Gunko's body off in the last chapter, right? And she just just regenerated right back like normal. So you might actually have a scene where Robin grabs all of his limbs and breaks them all at once, and you see all 4 of his limbs just in weird angles, and then he just immediately regenerates and he just starts laughing his ass off oh, I knew you guys were hanging out around here somewhere. Oh, you straw hats are like roaches, really. All right, and then Robin reveals herself and she's like, okay, had to at least try that, you know what I mean? It was at least worth a shot, right? So that didn't work. I can't just, break his spine and kill him that way. So let's try another way of going about this. Let's try simply, pinning him down, restraining him. So next thing Robin does is make, the giant arms and then try to just, contain Sommers that way. Or go, with, Netero in Hunter x Hunter with, the Bodhisattva. Just make, the giant hands that just, grab him that way, and then Sommers is like, ah! But considering Sommers does have the ability to summon thorns all over his body, that's probably not going to work either. It's probably not going to be a physical strength kind of test. It's more going to be Robin crushes him that way, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of thorns begin to stab Robin's arms, and whatever, the arms that she summons feel, she can also feel the pain is directed back on her. It's the same kind of thing. So that would be something really interesting. I talked about that in the review. If just because of how overwhelmingly pissed off Robin is right now, the idea that her best friend that she was reunited with after she thought was dead and gone for over 20 years. 20 years of absolute misery and suffering up until a couple years ago when she met the Straw Hats. Absolute misery and suffering as Saul's last words to her echoed in her brain every single day that, don't worry, Robin, you'll find someone out there that loves you. No one's born in this world to be alone. Oh, what if Emu was born in this world and was alone? What if Emu just needed friends? The Gorosei don't seem like friends to me. They seem more of like, you know, office acquaintances, if nothing else. You know, they're servants, essentially. They're not there to be Emu's friends. Emu comes out like, hey guys, would you like to play Candyland? Are you commanding us to play Candyland, Lord Emu? No, I wasn't commanding you. I just wanted to play Candy. It's fine. You know, that's how we're gonna solve the story right there. But no, like Robin had to deal with that every single day, and then finally reunited with Saul, and then like I think it's like the same day. Within like 24 hours of being reunited with her best friend, he's now stabbed from like a bunch of different directions, is now unconscious on the ground. Robin is like, oh, bullshit, that's going to happen again. I'm not like I was back then. I'm powerful now. I don't care if I have to give my whole life to save Saul. That's going to happen, okay? So she could like grapple Sommers. Sommers is using his thorns, stabbing her arms, and Robin is like, nope, I don't care. I'm not letting you go, and like pick in her giant fist and just yeets him across Elbath. Just like, I don't care how much you're stabbing me. I don't even feel pain anymore. You know what I mean? I don't care. You could rip my whole damn arm off. I don't care. I am throwing you very far away into the ocean, all right? So that might actually be one of the easy solutions to this problem. I mean, it probably won't work, because at Egghead, we also saw scenes with the Gorosei about to fall into the ocean. There was that one chapter where Saturn was about to hit the ocean, and the very next chapter, he was on the shore again. So I don't think it would be as simple as just chucking them in the water, but hey, that's something Robin can try, and, you know, be like either that or like, because we don't really know. I mean, like, the idea is that in Demonio, you could argue she awakened armament hockey there, you know, but it hasn't been confirmed. So it's like, that's one thing I wish Oda would have done a long time ago. Like, this is a big chunk into the time skip by now. Like, the time skip was over a decade ago. Oh my god, it's actually 15 years ago this year. Yeah, it was 2010 was what the time skip. My god. Anyway, more of the Straw Hats should have hockey at this point. Usopp was mentioned to have observation like once, and Frankie was kind of mentioned to have hockey and Egghead, but it's like very like off to the side, like not something that's like the main focus. At any rate, Robin should have armament by now, but maybe she'll awaken it in this fight. Maybe it will be unequivocally, unquestioningly, no, oh no, yeah, Robin has armament hockey. Now, even if she used armament hockey, that's not going to do anything, because once again, they're the God's Knights, okay? You know, hockey has been used on the Gorosei. They could still regenerate, but like, that's the whole idea of like trying everything. It's like, okay, normal attacks don't work. Hockey attacks don't work. Let me try picking you up and throwing you into the ocean and see what happens then. Hey, it worked. You know, Luffy was able to like throw Kizaru around at Egghead. Yeah, he was able to zip right back because he was light, but it bought them like a little bit of time, you know? So Robin picks up Sommers, he's stabbing her, doesn't matter, throws him off of Elbath, way off of the sun layer, down into the ocean. You know, Sommers doesn't have the light ability to teleport that way. He does have the abyss, but that doesn't seem like something you can just, like, activate at a moment's notice to just warp yourself back to another location. It seems to be like a whole ritual kind of thing you gotta do. Like, Gunko had to, like, hey, stand back, Shamrock. I'm gonna open the abyss now. Woo, you know, and then, like, the abyss opens up and then activates and stuff like that. So, like, if that does happen and Robin does throw him away, like, Sommers gets chucked down through the, gets chucked through the sun layer all the way down into the primordial realm, and then boom, lands right next to Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, Loki, and Hiruden and his crew. And it's like, who the hell is this dipshit? And then Loki could be there and be like, oh, he's dressed the same as the God's Knights. He's a God's Knight. And then like, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji are like, he is he? You know, it's like, all right, then. So that would actually be really funny if Sommers is just like, oh, shit. Okay, and then at that point, it's Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, the monster trio, giving a crack at Sommers to see what happens there. But I really want Robin to be the one. I want Robin to be the one to, like, either like straight up kill Sommers, figure out some way around the immortality, or restrain him permanently so like that ability can't be used anymore. I would say, like, with common devil fruit abilities, it's like figure out a way to knock them out, right? If you knock them out, then the solution is there. However, knocking out a member of the Gods Knights is going to be really difficult because, like, any sort of blunt force trauma you could exert on them would just be healed immediately because of the regeneration capabilities, right? The only thing that kind of works that we know is hockey, but an absurd amount of hockey. Like the hockey nuke set off by Emmett, that was enough to knock the Gorosei out of their monster forms, their yokai forms, and send them back to Marijois. Like, that'll definitely do it. That rule, I think, is still there. The rule of, like, hockey kind of trumps everything. It's just that, you know, Robin wouldn't have enough. I don't know if the Straw Hats would have enough. Now, maybe if, like, Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy all teamed up together. Loki is there too. And they all exerted their hockey into one giant combo attack. That might do something. I mean, hey, it's worth a shot. I mean, that's a lot of hockey coming off all four of them. I mean, is it the level of Joy Boy's hockey nuke? Probably not, but it's like, all right, maybe that'll do something. There has to be some way to stall out this regeneration bullshit. Otherwise, like, there's no way to get around it other than I'm thinking killing Emu. Like, Emu is the source of all this, so kill Emu, who, by the way, Emu probably also has the bullshit regeneration process. So, like, yeah, there's gonna be some method here that's going to have to be worked around. And it's going to take an extremely intelligent individual to figure this out, all right? And Robin is that. So it would be perfect if we could have Robin do that. Maybe Robin read something about this in a book a long time ago. I don't know. She's an archaeologist, right? She's read books. She knows things. What if there's like, wait a second, there was something written in my book a long time ago I kind of forgot about. But there were these beings that descended to the earth, and they could regenerate, and they were demons, or they were devils, or they were gods or some shit, and there was one way to stop them or kill them in the myth, in the legend that I read, or something like that, and it's the only way to do it is this or something. Maybe if like anybody has like, okay, Robin, roll history and see what you come up with. Okay, 20, you remember an exact myth about these creatures that can regenerate in this exact way, and you could figure out a way to stop that, but you need to do this first. It's like, okay. And we've also seen, from Gunko at least, we've seen when Gunko struck Brook, she had like a moment of like pain or like overexertion or something. Maybe that was her regeneration stalling at that point, or her abilities not working the way that they intended to because she attacked somebody she actually cared about. Maybe it's like removing your emotions, becoming a hollow person literally turns you into a hollow person. Like, you are now just the fog of like Emu's power and nothing else, right? And Gunko fought against that, so for momentarily Gunko felt that pain. Maybe if Usopp tried the skull bomb grass at that moment when Gunko like flinched, he couldn't, he was all tied up, but if he did, maybe it would have actually hurt her. Who knows, right? And we've already seen this with the Gorosei. Like, the Gorosei have literally abandoned all traces of their humanity. Saturn said it best to Doberman, like, you gotta view humans as nothing more than just insects, as like nothing, to just be stepped on and nothing more, right? Okay, so what if that is the considerable factor? That would make sense, actually, from Oda's writing style. Like, you abandon your humanity, you don't care about the humans anymore, you cannot be harmed by the humans anymore. But the moment you exhibit any care or concern for them, that's the problem. Now, with Gunko, that makes sense, because she was not originally a celestial dragon. She was added to those ranks later, from what we can understand. So she still, likes, like she mentioned, she likes the Soul King's music and stuff. So that might be the hint on how to stop the regeneration for Gunko. Meanwhile, you have Sommers, who was talking about music with Gunko, and like, I like music as well, but if the person that's playing for me messes up, I murder them. So, in that kind of situation, he's sort of like Hannibal Lecter. You know, the scene where, like, Hannibal Lecter, I think there was that violinist that was, like, playing off tune or something, and Hannibal Lecter, like, ate him. You know, it's like, that's kind of like Sommers here. He's like, oh, yes, I like listening to this beautiful rendition of Beethoven. Oh, he hit the wrong key on the piano. Murder him, away with him. And he'll laugh while it's happening. So, that might be the trickiest thing here. The only way to defeat the Gorosei and the Gods Knights is to get them to care about somebody or something, to get them to have humanity, to bring back a scrap of their humanity. And the Gorosei are hundreds of years old. They've abandoned probably all traces of that shit by this point. Is it possible for Sommers? Is it possible with Shamrock? You could argue maybe something involving his brother, Shanks. Maybe that could be some kind of connection that could stall that ability out if that's the case. I don't know. And I certainly don't know how Robin would be able to, even if she learned about the weakness, if that is a weakness, how she would even exploit that weakness against Sommers. But I'll tell you one thing that Robin has as an advantage, and I'll leave it here. She's really, really, really fucking pissed off right now. So I think she's gonna win. If Robin is pissed off, always bet on Robin. Okay? There it is. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, everybody. Oh, also, Scopper's there, too. I'll make a separate thing. We'll talk about Scopper a little bit more. But gotta talk about Robin, man. Gotta talk about Robin. She's gonna lay down the devastation. All right. Later, everybody. Teching 101, signing out.